Hello, and welcome to New Beginnings Start Today, the podcast for people who want to grow deeper in their faith in the Lord. I'm your host, Dr. Douglas Keffer, a minister, clinical pastoral counselor here in Roanoke, Virginia, and I have a passion to help people live their faith. Today we're going to talk about being courteous to your spouse, and how you can learn how to think of ways to show your spouse appreciation for what they do for you and the family consistently. Let's get started. I've had the privilege to sit and listen to spouses talk about how they get so frustrated over the little things that go on in their relationships with their spouses. Many do not have to deal with the really nasty things that can go on in marriages, such as having their arm broken because of an altercation they had with their spouse, because an argument got out of hand and the spouse lied in how they got the broken arm in the emergency room at the local hospital. Then there is the husband who arrives home to find all his clothes thrown onto the front lawn because his wife just found out that he is having an affair with her best friend, who is married to both their friend. Many couples do not have to deal with the wife who has a credit card and that the husband knows nothing about. But he continues to see new things showing up at the house, and he doesn't know where they are coming from. He confronts his wife because of the obvious expenses that these items bring, and he has to find out he finds out that she has spent tens of thousands of dollars that he now is responsible for, and he has no idea of how he's going to pay that credit card off. Of course, we can pick up the paper or listen to the 10 or 11 o'clock news and hear all these horror stories that go on every day in our communities and realize that there are many couples that do not have to go through some of these really painful events in their relationship with their spouses. I have said to many spouses when they tell me these horror stories, "You can't make this stuff up, can you?" And they look at me with tears in their eyes and they say, "You're right, Dr. Keffer," and it breaks my heart. What I am talking about, though, are the little things that can build up over a long period of time that causes your husband or your wife to want to pull their hair out or go outside and scream at the top of their lungs because they have had to deal with an issue for the 1,000th time, and they are at the end of their rope in trying to tell their spouse that they are tired of dealing with this issue forever, and they are not going to do so. They are not going to deal with this any longer. We have to look at how this dysfunction can stop by how husbands and wives take seriously the responsibility of the relationship with one another by how God intends you to live. This is described for us wonderfully by King Solomon, in Proverbs 31 and verses 11 and 12, which says, "The heart of her husband safely trusts her, so he will have no lack of gain. She does him good and not evil all the days of her life." This describes how a husband and wife are in tune with what each are and are willing to do to have a relationship that will enhance each other's life. The trust that the husband has, that King Solomon is talking about, allows him to have no lack of gain. I am here to tell you that this is not where his bank account gets bigger and bigger. It means that he feels safe and comfortable because he knows his wife only wants the best for him. He trusts that what his wife does is going to be truly a blessing to him and their children if they have children. The same is true for the wife because she feels that love and concern from her husband, and all she wants to do is what will make him happy and fulfilled in their entire marriage. You have to remember that what it is you do with and what it is you do for your spouse every day is being seen by your children, and that is what they learn on how they are going to behave with their spouses when they get married. What a thought. What a motivation for husbands and wives to really understand the importance of being one flesh. This kind of love and care for your spouse is evidenced by you being courteous to one another, and that is priceless today, as so little of it is seen in how couples live. There is too much looking out for number one, quote unquote, going on in marriage today. There are so many couples that are so busy with their careers and making money that they find themselves not aware of what they can do to make their spouses feel loved and appreciated because it is not important to them as it should be. I cannot tell you how many times that I have talked with couples about this issue, and they look at me and say, Dr. Keffer, I don't have time for this kind of nonsense, and I'm just not going to do this. This kind of living is exactly what allows Satan to deceive so many couples to believe that being loving and courteous to your spouse is no longer important. You know what I am talking about. Your spouse asks you to take your dishes to the kitchen after you've had your bowl of ice cream in the family room. The program you were watching is over, and it's time to go to bed, and you just get up. You leave the bowl on the coffee table and never give it another thought because you're off to bed. The next morning, your spouse gets up and walks into the family room to turn on the weather channel to see what the day is going to be like, and there it is, your bowl. Your bowl is waiting for her. Your bowl is waiting for him to take it to the kitchen. They say to themselves, she did it again, and they automatically see red. They are angry because this happens all the time, and they have told you by your behavior that what they want or expect you to do to be courteous in the smallest way really doesn't matter to you because you don't think that the expectation is even relevant for you. That becomes selfishness to your spouse. So another day starts off with there to be all these ill feelings toward you because they feel their need for these kind of things should not be going on after all that has been said about it in the past. You come to the kitchen to get your cup of coffee and that bowl of cereal before you head off to work, and you get the cold shoulder and you say to yourself, what's his problem? What's her problem? And it does not occur to you that your spouse is upset because you have had to pick up after yourself, or you failed to pick up after yourself once again. You pour your cup of coffee, looking at your spouse with that quote-unquote look and ask, what? Then you are told of the infraction and listen to the frustration, and you do not give it another thought. These little things cause huge problems, and can cause many couples to have serious problems in really feeling loved by their spouse, having to deal with the same things again and again. Friends, let me encourage you to look at how you can show more courtesy to your spouse and really work on thinking about what you can do to be more helpful and in the day-to-day responsibilities at home. I would teach couples to sit down and make a list of things they know their spouses really appreciate being done for them. That list can be as few as 2 things and no more than 5 things. Then I encourage that spouse to begin doing those things with consistency, day in and day out, week in and week out. For me, an example would be fixing breakfast for my wife every morning. I'm a very regimented person, and so we have a menu of what we are going to have each morning. That doesn't change unless my wife has fixed something special for us, like her delicious banana nut bread. I know what I am going to fix, and when we sit down for breakfast, the first thing we do, before we start eating, is we pray for and with each other and for our family and our friends. Then, when breakfast is done, I clean up the kitchen. My wife knows that I'm going to do this for us because I want her to know that I love her, and I want to do things for her that shows her that love. My wife consistently does the laundry each week. She has that routine down to a science. This allows me to know that I can go to the closet where the towels and washcloths are kept and get a clean towel and washcloth any time that I need one. And I know that they are going to be there for us. We have been showing each other this kind of kindness and courtesy for years, and what a blessing it has been to us. Remember, the heart of the husband safely trusts her, so he will have no lack of gain. She does him good and not evil all the days of her life. Being courteous does say, I love you. What a blessing is in store for all of you that work at this more consistently. Thank you for listening to this episode, and I want to invite you to contact me and share how you are being courteous to your spouse in your everyday living. If you are seeing this on YouTube, please click the subscribe button and the like button. Also click the share button and share it with all your friends. That would be so helpful to me. Tell me about other issues you would like me to address by leaving your comments, or you can email me at drdouglasgeffer@gmail.com. Until next time, God bless each of you.